These aren't the latest fashions. This catwalk is showcasing 150 years of Italian couture. One of the curators of this sumptuous exhibition is Franca Zozzani, editor of the Italian edition of Vogue magazine.
Fashion has always been fundamental to Italy. To understand fabrics and craftsmanship, you would have to go back to the Renaissance. There has always been an appreciation of aesthetics and beautiful clothes in Italy.
The exhibition venue couldn't be more fitting. The 17th century Palace of Venaria near Turin, used as a hunting base by the Royal House of Savoy. The journey through decades of Italian style begins with dresses once worn by Margherita of Savoy, the queen consort of Italy in the late 19th century. Oscar-winning costume designer Gabriele Pescucci is an expert on this era.
The waist on this dress is unusually high. The dress is given definition by the enormous crinoline. This was the era when skirts were huge. They became more narrow 6 years later and were gathered at the back. It's that sort of development that makes fashion so fascinating.
This is the famous ball gown that featured in the movie The Leopard by Italian director Luchino Visconti. It was set in the mid-19th century when wasp waists were all the rage. Actress Claudia Cardinale famously had her waist nipped in by 15 centimeters when she wore this dress by Italian costume designer Piero Tossi. He also worked on Luchino Visconti's movie Death in Venice, which featured original outfits dating back to the early 20th century.
We researched the era looking at photographs and historic pictures. It was painstaking research, but very important. Clothes are part of life and part of personal histories.
The post-war years saw Italian fashion discovered by Hollywood. The Sorella Fontana Atelier in Rome hosted its first haute couture shows. This dress, made by Fernanda Gattinoni in 1948, belonged to Swedish actress Ingrid Bergman. These Ferragamo shoes were worn by Marilyn Monroe, including the golden stilettos that featured in Bus Stop in 1956.
The creativity of Italian directors took Hollywood by storm. We owe a major debt to directors such as Roberto Rossellini and Vittorio De Sica. They put Italy and Italian fashion on the international map.
It was the era of the Dolce Vita, as depicted in Federico Fellini's 1960 movie. In the 60s, fashion was all about daring colors and patterns. Designers like Emilio Pucci and Valentino became household names. In the 1970s, the main influence was pret-à-porter, made in Milan, and remains so to this day. Not only the models in the exhibition, but the visitors too sport fashion by over 40 leading Italian designers, including a number of pieces from the 1990s when fashion became one of the main engines of the Italian economy. Dolce & Gabbana, this famous gold dress by Versace, Prada, Gucci, and of course Giorgio Armani.
In Italy, fashion is something very positive. It's about dreaming, being happy, and it's economically robust. It helps our international reputation when times are tough.
Featuring over 200 classic designs, the exhibition runs through January 8th of next year.